Welcome to Brand Rescue, a public relations podcast where we dig into the truth about what it's actually like to work in PR. I'm Whitney Lee. I ditched my fancy corporate job to freelance in small town USA and ended up building an international PR agency. On this show, we skip all the BS and sugarcoating and get into the conversations our industry should be having. It's all real talk, and we love a hot take. Glad you're here. Let's get to it. Hey, friends. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. And I guess it's now officially summer. I don't know if you caught wind or maybe if you follow me on social, but I shared some pretty exciting news about what I'm doing this summer. So I wanted to kind of expand on that. I shared some of the plans on social media, but wanted to share with you guys. I've had a lot of people asking about how it affects my workflow. What does this mean for business, clients? And I thought it would be a great topic for us to chat about. So let's chat. So if you didn't see announcements on social, let me catch up to speed really quick. So every year in Phoenix, the summer in Phoenix is freaking brutal. So every year, for the past 2 years, I have dipped out for the summer. So last year, I went all over the US. I did a month in Nashville. I did a month in Chicago. I did a few weeks in Tampa, Colorado. I went and saw my family in Mississippi. So just getting out of freaking Phoenix while it's 120 degrees. So this year came around and pretty funny. I was watching Emily in Paris. I'm like embarrassed to even admit that I watched that show, but it is pretty entertaining. So I'm watching Emily in Paris and I was like, oh, you know what? That's what I should do. I should go to Europe. Not Paris, but I should go to Europe for the summer. Um, so I um packed up, decided to do it. Let's see, I decided in probably like March. And I knew that my lease was up on my condo in June. And I had been living in my friend Julie's place. I love that spot. But I was like, okay, March, I got a few months to plan this. I got a few months to work on it. So I literally bought a plane ticket and went for it. I have never been to northern Italy. I've done Rome, Sicily, Aeolian Islands. Absolutely. Rome is probably one of my favorite cities in the world, just freaking magical. And so I was like, I really want to see northern Italy though. Like I want to go to Milan, I want to go to Florence, I want to see Venice. Lake Como, like there's so much up there that I wanted to see. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do Italy. And then I just started like thinking and planning and also working with Claude. I do a lot on Claude now. Um, so I I came up with a plan, a semi plan, and I'll share that with you now. So, um, here's what I decided. June, all northern Italy. So I booked a place in Milan on Airbnb. You actually get a really good deal when you do a whole month. A whole month is cheaper than 2 weeks. 'Cause as soon as you cross over into that month, they give you, like, a really steep discount, and also just fun fact, you can also reach out to these owners and just offer them something of like, "Hey, I'm looking for a month, you know, would you be willing to do a special rate for a whole month?" Most of them already have their account set up to where you can get a special fee or a special rate for a month. And also on Airbnb, you can search month-long stays. There are a bunch of other sites that are like European Airbnbs, but I didn't have any luck on them. They were way more expensive. So, yeah, I just went on Airbnb and booked a place. Now, yes, I did a lot of research before about what's the safest neighborhood. I wanted to be close to a metro station, like really putting thought into it, where I'm gonna feel safe. And then also for every Airbnb, it's like I gotta have a real I'm okay if it's the kitchen table, but I have to have a space for my computer that becomes my little like office. I can't work off the coffee table on the couch or in my bedroom or whatever. Like, I need a table or a desk where I can work. I also want really good natural light because for me, I like to work. I like to be in a space that feels light an area cannot be cramped into like a studio little dungeon with no windows. So I have my like wish list, right? So, I figured out that Milan would be like a good central hub where you can train out to all these different places in like a couple hours max. So that's what I did. I booked a spot in June for the whole month of June in Milan. And during the work week, I will be in Milan. I am in Milan right now. I'll be in Milan during the work week. And then on the weekends, I'll just travel out. Um, and, hit some of the cities I've been wanting to see. So I actually did Florence last weekend. Oh my God, if you've never been to Florence, so fun. I say it's kind of like our New Orleans where one weekend is plenty, okay? By the end of the weekend, you're done. You have no desire to keep going, but all it is eat, drink, shop, so they have amazing leather artistry there. Um I definitely got a new handbag, an amazing belt, like genuine leather. Oh my God, when you smell it, you can just smell how like fresh the leather is. And they actually have like leather schools there and everything, but they also have these cute little wine windows. So you literally it's like a drive-through daiquiri shop in New Orleans. You go by, ring the bell, they take your order, and they just hand you a little glass of wine or a spritz out the window, and you just walk around and shop with it. It's so fun. What a beautiful city, and then, of course, I got to see, like, the birth of Venus, like, some of the major artwork, climb to the top of the Duomo, that was 493 steps to go to the top of the Duomo, but so worth it, the view up there is crazy, and then I turned around and walked up the top of the bell tower, and that was also, like, I think 400 steps, so worked off that pasta, what's interesting is, speaking of pasta, I when I'm in the US, I don't eat gluten, and I mean, I'm not, like, hardcore strict on it, I'm not celiac or anything, but I would say I'm, like, 90% gluten-free and dairy-free, um, but here I've just been, like, going ham and eating whatever I want, and it really hasn't affected me until I got to Florence. As soon as I got to Florence, I went and grabbed a sandwich, like a panini, and, I felt like crap afterwards, so I don't know, everybody says, like, the gluten in Europe doesn't matter. Um, I think that theory is true. It may just have been that spot in Florence because it was definitely it's, like, right there by the Duomo and the super touristy part, like, so, anyway, but Florence was amazing. This weekend, I'm going to the opera in Verona. It's like an outdoor amphitheater. It's very ancient. And that's Romeo and Juliet city. So I'm going to Verona. I'm very excited. And then Saturday, I'm going to hop over to Venice because Verona's on the way. I'm gonna hop over to Venice on Saturday and meet my brother. My older brother lives in Paris, and so he wanted to come over and see Venice as well. So we're gonna hang out all weekend. So I'm excited. I just feel like, wow, it's gonna be pretty touristy. Um, Florence was incredibly touristy, so it's actually really nice when I got back to Milan on Sunday night, and it was so nice to just get back here to like a city where people aren't on vacation. I think what it is that I am just, after 16, 17 years of living like in the Destin 30A area, I'm just exhausted by living somewhere that people are on vacation. Like I just don't want to do it anymore. So, back in Milan, and it feels good to like be able to focus. Okay, so that's June before we dive into work stuff. That's June. July, I'm going to do something similar, except home base is going to be Barcelona. So, Barcelona for the whole month of July, I'm probably going to go to San Sebastian, Valencia. I did summer school in Madrid in college. So, I don't know, I may go back to Madrid for a weekend. It's been 20 years. God, I sound so freaking old saying that. It's been 20 years since I did summer school there, but that was a very special summer and completely changed my life for reasons I can't say on the podcast. We'll just say there was a boy involved, okay? I feel like that's enough said. I don't even wanna, go down that hole, but anyway, that summer changed my life, and it was amazing. So, um, yeah, so I'm gonna do the same thing in July and do all of Spain, and then August is my freaking 40th birthday. I can't even believe that, like, I can't ugh, I feel like I was 25, like, 5 minutes ago, but I'll be 40 on August 2nd, and so I'm like, "Where do I wanna go for my 40th birthday?" Like, I wanna do it big, you know? And it's not even to me, like, doing it big doesn't mean, like, buying myself a designer handbag, nothing like that. It's just like, I wanna experience something really memorable. I am such an experienced person over a handbag or a pair of shoes, like, dude, whatever, you know? I mean, I like nice stuff. Like I said, I bought myself a handbag this past weekend, but it wasn't like a $5,000 handbag. That's just insane. But to each their own, you know? So I want to do something big to celebrate. I might go to Mallorca, but then the whole month of August, I just left it wide open to see like where I want to go. What does my heart desire? So, August, I wanted to give myself some flexibility to be spontaneous. So stay tuned on August. I'm kind of thinking Greece. I've been dying to go to Greece and I'm a nerd for history, like love historic travel, so I may hop over to Athens and then head out to maybe the Greek islands. Okay, so let's talk about work. 'Cause everyone's like, "Oh, are you just not working?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, must be nice." That's not an option, y'all. I can't just take a 3-month sabbatical. I will say this, my team is so awesome, and they are rocking and rolling, but I still manage all of the business development, and I wanna make sure that I'm always working on a pipeline for us, and I still pop into client work and client meetings just depending on, what's coming down the pike. We have a big grand opening in Fort Lauderdale for a new restaurant coming up this fall, so I've kind of been, still involved in that project, so I'm very grateful for my team, and, them handling a lot of the client work, and I focus on business development, which is great. So, but also how does travel like this, like, affect your work life? And everyone's like, "How do you do it?" I'll be honest with you, you gotta be really freaking disciplined, and for me, you have to find a rhythm, okay? You can't just like, be like, "I'm gonna work sometimes," like, you gotta define work time and get into a routine. That's for me at least, okay? So I can't just be like, "Well, I don't know, tomorrow maybe I'll work during the day and then not work at night, and then the next day maybe I'll, like, work at night and then just, like, have all day to do this." We are 6 hours ahead of Eastern Time. Milan is 6 hours ahead of Eastern Time. So my team starts work every day around 3. So, what I have found the first few days, I tried to work just traditional Eastern time hours, but that was rough. Finishing work at 11 o'clock at night, then making dinner, then showering, then going to like it was putting me to bed like really, really late at night and eating right before bed just made me kind of feel like crap. So, and again, also like they don't always necessarily need me during every single work hour. So they have their tasks and thankfully they're so on top of it. Like it's not like they need me to like, m- okay, Whitney, what am I doing next? What next? Like they know what is on their plate and they handle it. And as do all of us. So what I've found works really, really well for me is that I am most fresh in the mornings, right? I make a cup of coffee, a very stiff Italian coffee, and I sit down and do the things that involve my creative brain. It's awesome because no one's emailing, no one's texting, no one's calling, no one on the team is awake. So the G chat is completely quiet. Like I get 3 or 4 hours of sheer solid brain time. And that has been game changing. Just to shut out the rest of the world and have those 3 or 4 hours. I swear to God, like, I've been accomplishing more in those 3 to 4 hours sometimes than I used to accomplish in a whole workday. Just because I think of the solitude and the quiet and the focus. you know? So I wake up in the morning, I knock out 3 or 4 hours of, like, really concentrated work. Then I break for lunch, I go to the gym, I come back, I shower, and then, if we have client meetings, those usually fall somewhere between 3 and 7 my time, which is perfect because that's the hottest part of the day here. It's really miserable during those hours, so, um, yeah, during that time, I sit in on any client meetings or any new business meetings that I need to have, uh so yeah, I do that between about 3 and 7, 3 and 8. And then I kind of make dinner and go to bed or whatever I want to do around here. So I did stay the first weekend in Milan just to like explore Milan. So I feel like I have scratched that itch. And during the week, it doesn't really like tempt me to be like, oh, well, I need to go out and explore. It's like, dude, I have walked all over Milan. Every day I've walked like 25,000 steps. So I don't have that anxiety of like, "Oh, I'm here and I'm not getting to see everything." It's like, no, I gave myself that time, and also some days if I want to get up and go explore, go do something or, run a few errands during the day, I can do that, you know? But I always the moment I get to a city, I find my grocery store and I find my gym because those 2 things make me feel grounded. Like, I have food at my house, so I'm not eating out every meal. I have a gym, so I can stay, in my routine. I've been a lifelong athlete. I played college soccer. I played all kinds of sports in high school. I like to work out. It makes me feel good. Okay. So, those are the 2 things. I get those 2 in place and I figure out kind of my work routine and then I stick to it. What's been really great here is that, on Fridays, I am traveling on the weekends. So on Friday, I get up and I take the first train. Well, the train has Wi-Fi on it. It's freaking awesome. So I just get to the train station, and then the whole time we're training, I'm knocking out all my morning time tasks. I get to whatever city I'm going to, like last Friday, I got to Florence. I worked the whole train ride there. It was like 3 hours. Um, got my suitcase to the hotel. They weren't ready for my check-in, so I just left it there. I went out, I had lunch, I grabbed a coffee, I did a little spin around the block. They let you check into hotels around 1 or 2 here. So I went back at like 2, got my little got my computer out, got settled into my room, and then when my team logged on at 3, I hopped on at 3, touch base with the team, checked through our Asana tasks, and finished up the last few things that I wanted to do. Um, and that was that. Like, it's literally the freaking perfect setup, but I think, keeping a routine is what makes me feel grounded and it helps continue business as normal, you know? None of the clients I mean, I guess if they follow me on social media, they have seen, but business is usual. I'm not yeah, business is completely normal, you know? And as long as they don't see a dip in our performance, uh, and same thing with my team. If they want to travel, do whatever you want. As long as during your work hours, you are focused. You got, you're there for client meetings, you're ready, you're prepared, you've updated your Asana, you've met all your deadlines. I don't give a crap if you're, in Bali or if you're in backwoods Mississippi. You This is why we are a remote team, you know? So I think it's been, really it took me the first, like, 3 or 4 days of being here to kind of figure out that routine, um, but once I did, I'm like, "Boom, I'm good now." So, yeah, if anybody out there is interested in, like, remote travel and working remotely and, um, kind of what has helped me do this, please hit me up, shoot me a DM on Instagram or LinkedIn. I would love to connect and chat with you about it. I get lots of questions about it anyway because everybody thinks that I'm just like hanging out, giggling, and drinking wine and not working. So, but obviously that's not how this works. But yeah, it does take a lot of discipline, but also owning your own business takes a lot of discipline. You know, it doesn't matter if I'm in Milan or if I'm in Florida. when I started this business, every day I had to get up and get myself dressed and get to it. You don't get to, if you want it to be a serious business, you have to take it seriously. If you treat it like a freelance role, you're going to get freelance results, you know? So get up, I get up every day, I fix my hair and makeup, I put on an outfit. When I'm in the US, it's athleisure, but it's not so much here because that's apparently so freaking taboo to them. So, um, but yeah, I like, you know, get up and treat this as if it were a real job at another company, and I think that's been one of the things that's really helped us be successful is, like, we don't treat this we're not freelancers, like, this requires our full attention as if any other role, and people are always like, "It must be so nice because you don't have a boss," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I have how many, 16 clients?" Like, uh, yeah, the yeah, I don't have a boss, like, looking over me, but I still have to perform or we don't or our clients will fire us, and then I don't have a job anymore, and then I have to go work for the man, which is not an option? So, anyway, yeah, thanks for tuning in and thanks for listening. I hope you'll follow along on social, and I've also been working on something else. We are getting ready to start a Substack. So I know some people are not pod listeners. They are more, they consume content through email newsletters or through social. But I've just had so many people reaching out and asking me about like a blog or a Substack. And I was like, you know what, we really should do that because again, a lot of my friends are not podcast listeners. And also, you guys know the pod is really kind of a little more work focused than just like, this is me, I'm Whitney, I'm traveling. So a lot of the people that want to follow along, they don't really want to follow the podcast. They don't want the PR talk. They want more just like what's happening with travel, with my life, that kind of thing. So the Substack is going to be a marriage of the two. So would love for you to subscribe. I'm going to share that on Instagram and I'll put the link to subscribe in my bio and all that good stuff. We'll drop it in the show notes for you as well. But we'll probably do one a week, something like that. I don't know. I don't want to overcommit myself because we've been so busy lately. And yeah, I want to make sure I never bite off more than I can chew. So. Anyway, y'all, thank you so much for listening. I would love to know if you have questions or anything or something about the trip or, whatever it is. Like, I love it when y'all reach out to me. So, would love to hear from you. Feel free to shoot me any questions. And maybe I'll do like a Ask Me Anything um, episode of the podcast. I feel like I need to like write down all the questions that people are asking me. That's why I finally had to do a podcast on it because I was like so overwhelmed with the amount of questions. So, anyway, all right, y'all, have a great week, and we'll see you on the next episode. That's it for today. If something in this episode landed for you, share it, screenshot it, and send it to someone in the industry who needs to hear it. And come connect with me personally on Instagram at @the Whitney Lee, or you can find me on LinkedIn. See you next week.